Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Meaty69, and we are back with my top 5 most played premium tanks. Now, this was a fun one for me to do this video because it's something I never look at, and I was quite surprised to see what was actually some of my top played premium tanks. Now, this is the Helsing, and it's at 404 battles. Now, for someone with 50,000 battles almost, that's actually not a lot. That's not a lot of battles. And as we go down the list, some are not so surprising. But for me, they are surprising because some of them are just tanks that I don't play no more. Especially my top tank, my top number one. I haven't really played it. I think my top three, no, not my top three, my first and my third tank, most played tank, I haven't played them for so long. Like, I think in say 2 years, I've probably had less than 50 battles between them. But yet they still remain as my number one and my number three. So at number 5, as we have seen, it is the Helsing. It's a nice tank, very good tank. Just done a review on it, really good tank, and it's not surprising really that this is up there in my top 5. This and another tank that's OP is up there in my number 5. So these tanks are very not surprising that they have made it into the top 5, but still only 400 battles. Now, to some people that might sound a lot, but for someone with, like I said, someone with 50k battles, 400 battles is not a lot. I've seen people with thousands and thousands. I still haven't got a tank that has 2,000 battles. That's not just premium, that's tech tree and premium. I still have not got any tank that has over 2,000 battles. Now, that's surprising, but I have also got so many tanks. So 330 tanks in total I have got. So when you look at it like that, you can understand. So this is my number 5, and probably well deserved to be my number 5, or at least in the top 5. Helsing, completely OP. Easy battle there, only 2,300. We make 47,000 credits. Top damage, no problem whatsoever. So that is the Helsing at my number 5. So moving on to my number 4 in the list, my number 4th most played premium tank, and it's this beautiful tank, the Cromwell B. Now, when this first come out, I spammed it completely. I played this non-stop, and it has 545 battles currently. That will still rise. I don't play this tank as much now because it's lower. It's tier 6. I'm grinding tanks, so I don't play this as much. And if I want to grind credits, I tend to go to either tier 9 or tier 8 or some tanks in tier 7. But that doesn't mean that this tank isn't good. This is probably the best tier 6 for me. My most fun tier 6. You have got a few good tier 6 premiums. You've got this, Fury, and the Star Chaser. These are all good tier 6 tanks. Very strong tanks, but this in particular, massive gun depression. I'm not sure exactly what the gun depression is. I haven't looked at the stats for such a long time. It's something like 12 degrees or something like that. And on maps like mine, like we are on now, it could be absolutely amazing. Now, the armor isn't great, so even when you do use the gun depression, you can still easily get penned on your turret very easily. So you still need to watch out for those KV2s, the SUs 152s, etc., because you will get dirt in the face with HE, and it will high roll. It's very rare to a low roll on this tank because the armor isn't great. Now you can see we can't hold the ridge anymore. We've gone down to 200 hit points. We are now a one-shot, so we have to be careful. There's a panther around somewhere. There's an IS up there, and I've got none of my teammates around, so I need to get away. So I went to go with my team, but then I thought, I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to go up this hill to see if I can get any shots off. Now, luckily, that IS wasn't looking at me then, so I just managed to get away with that. And now the panther is coming, so I'm now not in a great position. So the only thing I can do is carry on what I was doing, and that's going around by my team, hoping the IS doesn't look at me. And luckily I'm not spotted, he's not spotted, so he doesn't know where I am. Now my team have taken out the SU-100, so it just leaves them two tanks remaining. So now I'm in a bit more safer position. I'm with my team. We've got the LTTB. I'm going to follow him up the hill, and now we're going to manage to get this hill, and we're going to pretty much hold the hill. So we have got a KV2 cap in base, so the enemy are going to pretty much have to do something. They can't just sit here and wait for the shots. They're going to have to do something. And luckily the LTTB took the IS's attention, and we do get a shot into him, and we get one more shot into the hatch of his. And are we going to get another shot? I think we're going to bounce the next shot. Yeah, we're going to bounce the shot on the side of his tracks, and we don't want to poke up because we're a one shot. So we're just going to wait for him to make a mistake. There he is. He's now a one shot. We can go, and we're going to bounce. So the LTTB has gone down. He gets the ram kill, leaving now just the panther. So the panther's gone, and he's resetted base, which means we can now focus on him without him focusing us, because he just wants that the KV2. So he's going to poke around the corner. We're going to get another shot, but he does get me, which now I am a one shot to him. But the LTTB has rushed in. He wants the kill, he wants the damage, and we're going to get one more shot before the KV2 can take him out. It's not bad, not a bad battle. We didn't bounce any shots, which is expected in this tank, but we finished with 2,500 damage, which isn't so bad at tier 6. We get a second class, and we make ourselves 53,000 credits. So really fun tank, and it is kind of my go-to tank if I want to go tier 6. Also in tier 6 tournaments, this is quite strong as well with the gun depression. So very nice all-round tank, and again another tank that deserves to be in my top 5. So moving on, number 3. Now this one, for me, it's surprising, but it's not so surprising because it's an IS-6. Now we have 608 battles. Again, that doesn't sound, for me with 50k battles, that doesn't sound a lot, because it's a tank that I just never ever play. I never play this tank, and if I was going to play the IS-6, I would play the IS-6 Fearless, which is exactly the same as this, but it's more of a premium, not a premium tank, but it's a very rare tank. So, but it's exactly the same. The gun, everything's the same. It is an IS-6 just with a different camo. So I own both. I own this and I own the Fearless. So if I was going to play the IS-6, if someone wanted me to play the IS-6, I would generally just use the Fearless. So again, in like 2 years, I've probably played this one 10 times, maybe, which is not a lot considering it is my number 3. But back in the day when I first started Blitz and I first started buying the premium tanks, this is when the matchmaking was +2, -2. So back then the IS-6 was really strong because it had preferential matchmaking. I will get the word out. So it never ever see tier 10, which is why people spam this tank so much. It's a very troll tank, very troll armor. You could buy it in the tech tree, and it had that matchmaking where you did not see tier 10. So I remember when playing in tier 8 back like 3 years ago. If there's ever a platoon in tier 8, they was always spamming 2 IS-6s, because that was just how it went back then. Every platoon was, you didn't have all these other heavies that are in the game, except for the Luva, the T-34, etc. But again, this had that matchmaking where you didn't see the tier 10. So it was just completely every battle, every tier 8 battle, there was 2 or 3 of these in. And if there's a platoon, they was always doubling them up. But since then, there's been more heavies released. You don't have the +2, -2 now. So it's a tank that I've pretty much completely forgotten. And even my IS-6 Fearless, again, that just sits in my garage. I never really play it because I don't... It's still a strong tank, don't get me wrong, it's an IS-6. It's always going to be a strong tank, but it's just a tank... It's kind of boring now, you know. It was 3 years ago, it was a good tank. Now it's just a normal tank. And this is why I don't play this tank much anymore. And since playing this to get the footage, I probably won't play it for another 2 years. So 3.3k, not bad. Second class, 71,000 credits. So it's a strong tank. That was a tier 9 battle. Strong tank, good credit earner, but it's just kind of boring. So moving on to my number 2, and again, it's a tank that's not very surprising to be there, and it is the Dracula. So 706 battles in this tank, which that will go up, and that will go up pretty quick, because I do play this tank quite a lot. Now, this is a kind of tank this is my go-to tank. If I'm not having fun in tier 10 and I just want to make some credits, this is the premium tank I go to. I am always playing it. It's completely OP. It's just amazing, and you can have fun in it as well. That is the main thing. If you can double up 2 Draculas in a battle, in a platoon, you can just go on a rampage and you can just destroy everything. Now, this battle was quite a nice battle. I do mess up at the end. I misjudge the VK on the reds, but at this point we are getting overrun at the top. So my team are mainly at the bottom. So we're going to rush down. Instead of getting killed early on, only doing sort of 900 damage, we're going to go down where all my team are. And that means it's like 5 tanks on 3. Well, actually it's 2, because there is 1 AFK. So we're now going to circle the T25, get him down, and T29 is going to take him out. And then we find the IS. Now, this was very naughty of me. It was very naughty of me. While my team are fighting it out, I'm kind of farming the IS, only because I don't want him to come alive. If he comes alive and we're focusing on another tank, he can come behind us. It's going to take me 30 seconds to clear him up. I leave him on a 1-shot for that Tiger P to take care of him, and now we can focus the T29. So we get 1 shot into him. We are trying to bait the shot and let our Hellcat get some damage. We bounce that shot and he does get a shot into me, but at this point I'm thinking, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get another shot, and the Hellcat can take him out. So already we have done 2.5k damage, which is perfectly acceptable in tier 7. But don't forget, about 1200 of that was an AFK. So now there is 3 tanks left alive. We are against 4. We are 4 tanks against 3. And they've still got a good platoon on the enemy side. So we do need to be careful. There's the Hafen there. We can get 1 shot in him as he is crossing. However, we are spotted. So we're going to wait. I was just about to go back. But then I thought, I'm going to wait, because they've got to make the move. We are capping. A couple of them are low hit points. So we've got the Helsen up there. Now we've got the Tiger P with me, which is great. But he does something very, very stupid in a minute. The T29 is gone, and there is the Tiger P. He's gone. He's on his way against 3 of them, and he's just going to get wrecked. But that's good for me, because it means I can get shots in without that team looking at me. And we're going to just see that with this Helsen. So we're going to wait for the Helsen. We know he is on his way down, and as soon as he's focused on the Tiger P, we can get a shot in, which leaves him on a 1-shot. But we do fail to pen him that time, and now it's changed. It's 2 against 3. I don't want to poke out we are capping the base, and we managed to get a snapshot into the Hell's Inn, and now there's pretty much just this VK. His two mate is gone towards cap because he does need to do something, but he is now a one shot. The Hellcat is going to take him out, which now just leaves me and the Hellcat against this VK, and this is where I mess up. I totally misjudge the reload of this VK. I'm like, when he shoots me there, I'm like, Jesus, how quick is that reload? But we do manage to get him down to a one shot, enough for the Hellcat to take him out for the third kill. So not a bad battle. Again, it's a Dracula. A lot of people hate the Dracula because it is OP, and I admit it's completely OP. But it's a fun tank as well. Not just OP, but it's fun. And 4,000 damage there, and we get ourselves nearly 80,000 credits. And this is why it is my go-to tank, because you can earn the credits, you can get the damage, you can get the win rate, and you can have fun. So that is the Dracula. I think eventually this will be my number one, but for the time being, this is my number two, and probably well-deserved number two. So this leads us to my number one. Now, what is it? You can see the reload there, 20 seconds, just over 20 seconds. And again, this is another tank that I never ever play in, and it's a tank I've really got bored of, and it is the IS-3 Defender. Now, I used to absolutely love this tank. 1,422 battles. Now, this is, I think, my third, or I think it's my third most played tank. It's my first most played premium tank, but I think in total it's my third, right after two other tanks, which eventually, maybe next month, not straight away, I'll do my top 5 tech tree tanks. And again, these stats can be seen. Anyone can view this. You can just go onto my stats and check yourself. But I thought I would make a video on it, so I could also then explain why they are my most played tanks, which so far I have done. And it just leaves us onto this Defender. Now, again, like the IS-6, when this tank first came out, in the Halloween event, I think it was +2, -2. It didn't have the matchmaking, but it could still hold its own in tier 10. It was really a really good tank with the 3-shot autoloader. It really does bully tanks, and you can see here, back of a chieftain, HE 625 damage. Now, the reason I spammed this tank so much, because you didn't have the matchmaking back then that we have now. If you have two of the same tank, it's going to be hard to get in a battle. We didn't have that. So, two of these in a platoon back then against tier 6s, you absolutely dominated. And not only, again, was you having fun in the tank, you was winning loads, you was earning loads of credits, and they was just horrible to come up against. Two of these in a platoon, if you worked correctly with 3 shots each, you can easily take out one tank between you with just one clip, and then you can go on a reload. Or one of your teammates can, or your platoon mate could hide while you're shooting your 3 clips. Once you've shot your 3 clips, you can go and hide, and your teammate will then go and use his, and by the time he's used his, you'll then reload it. And it just does that all battle, and it works. It used to work a treat, and it was lovely to play. It really was lovely to play, and that is why this is my number one most played tank. I completely spammed this back in the day. It was the only tank I was playing when it first came out. I did get it. I got it the first time round when it was first released, and ever since then I just completely spammed it. You can see there, 3.2k damage, 69,000 credits. So it was a really good credit earner, really good win rate earner, and damage earner. So that is it, guys. That is my top 5. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your top 5 premium tanks are in the comments. I'd love to know, and how many battles you have in them, because for me, 1,400, yes, it's a lot of it's a lot of battles, but is it a lot of battles when you have 50,000 battles? I'm not so sure. But for now, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. Again, top 5 tech tree tanks will be coming shortly. But I'm Easy69. Please subscribe, like the video and comment, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.